The Lost World Jurassic Park and Jurassic Park 3 were both set on Isla Sorna. And whether or not you like Jurassic Park 3, personally I liked it, the Spinosaurus is one of the most popular dinosaurs in the entire franchise. Not to mention one of the most controversial ones. So where was it then during the events of the Lost World Jurassic Park? Now, as you know, the Lost World Jurassic Park and Jurassic Park 3 were both featured on Isla Sorna, and many people are left confused because the fauna and landscapes are completely different in both movies. And not to mention, the Spinosaurus featured in Jurassic Park 3 is arguably the most powerful and destructive dinosaur we see in the entire franchise, so it leaves many people confused on the timelines, locations of Jurassic Park 3 as opposed to the Lost World. And the fact that a dinosaur as destructive as the Spinosaurus is nowhere to be seen in the Lost World Jurassic Park. Now, one of the many common answers is the fact that both movies are set on different parts of the island. Now, Isla Sorna is an absolutely massive island, so it is feasible that it could have different biomes and different locations within it. Hence why people say we never see the Spinosaurus, because the island is so large and they're set in different places. But that's not entirely true. Both movies show massively different landscapes, whereas the Lost World Jurassic Park shows redwood forests and Jurassic Park 3 show lush green jungles. The Lost World's event is supposed to be set in the northeastern part of the island, whereas Jurassic Park 3's events are meant to be set in the southwestern part of the island. But that doesn't answer the question of how the biomes are so diversely different. One theory is that the northern part of the island has a rocky mountainous terrain, which stops all the clouds and moisture traveling to the southern part of the island, which would create obviously different biomes, ecosystems and fauna. But it still doesn't explain why we do not see the Spinosaurus in the Lost World Jurassic Park, especially as the Spinosaurus would be roaming the island in search of prey. Now, we do see the Tyrannosaurus family in the Lost World Jurassic Park, and they are on the southern part of the island. So could it be that the territory of the Tyrannosaurus is in the southern part and the Spinosaurus is in the northern part? Well, I don't believe that to be the case either, because in Jurassic Park 3, we see that controversial scene where a Tyrannosaur is in the Spinosaurus area. So that rules out the Spinosaurus having its own territory or the Tyrannosaurus, because they're in each other's territories, clearly roaming around. Now, any normal apex predator would avoid each other for fear of injury or death. It's simply not worth it. But the Spinosaurus, on the other hand, actively hunts out other apexes, which leads into the theory that the Spinosaurus was the first hybrid. Now, not only is this a theory, there's also proof to back this up, whereas Henry Wu actually says he leaves something behind on Isla Sorna, and I've covered this in previous videos that the Spinosaurus is indeed the first hybrid. Now, why would Henry Wu be on Isla Sorna, and how does that filter into the Spinosaurus? And was it actually on Isla Sorna during the events of the 1997 film The Lost World Jurassic Park? Now, with the Spinosaurus actively looking out other apexes, why would it not be seen in the Lost World Jurassic Park tracking down the T-Rex family? Now, arguably, watching that film is evident there is no mention or even thought of a Spinosaurus being on the island at that time. Now, I would like to point out the fact that obviously Jurassic Park 2 was made before Jurassic Park 3, and the Spinosaurus was only intended to be used in Jurassic Park 3, but to simply ignore the fact that it's in Jurassic Park 3 on the same island and isn't mentioned now in the lore in Jurassic Park 2 is simply insane. Now, one factor is obviously the age of the Spinosaurus and how that will play into the both movies, as there is a possibility that the Spinosaurus was never on Isla Sorna during 1997 in the first place. And having looked into the lore thoroughly, going through Masrani's back door, I have found out some crucial information. Now, the Lost World Jurassic Park was set in 1997 and Jurassic Park 3 was set in 2001. Now, Masrani Global purchases InGen in 1998, and shortly after 1998, a group of scientists embark on the island to conduct illegal experiments with illegal dinosaurs. These dinosaurs included an Ankylosaurus, a Ceratosaurus, a Spinosaurus, and one other genus. This shows us that in actual fact they didn't commence actually cloning a Spinosaurus until at least 1998, 1 year after the events of the Lost World Jurassic Park in 1997. Although there is a huge problem with this. There is a shooting script for Jurassic Park 3 and provides us evidence to show that the Lost World Jurassic Park and Jurassic Park 3 were set in exactly the same location, which completely kills the theory of the Spinosaurus and Tyrannosauruses set in different locations. And here is the evidence. During Alan Grant's journey through the InGen compound going to the embryonics lab, they pass a destroyed vehicle with the window smashed out, which is explicitly referred to as the one from the Lost World Jurassic Park, with Dr. Ian Malcolm inside being attacked by the raptor. And the exact words are as follows: "A troubled Grant peers through a windshield partially caved in, like something giant head butted the glass. Think back to the Lost World. Now, we all know that Jurassic Park 3 had a terrible production and was rushed, and they were still writing the story as it was being filmed. So it is possible that they decided to change locations, but it does show here from this script that they were intended to be in exactly the same location, which would completely destroy the fact that the Spinosaurus was in the north and the Tyrannosaurus was in the south. Thus, we can conclude that during that time in the Lost World Jurassic Park, there was no Spinosaurus on the island, and that is because of Project Regenesis. Now, I talk about Project Regenesis in a different video which you can watch here, but basically what it means is, in a nutshell, the Spinosaurus was never created until at least 1998. Which is directly 1 year after the event of 1997. Now, this evidence is found directly on Masrani Global's website, Masrani Backdoor, and you can go and see all that information for yourself. There were also other subtle hints, such as a deleted scene in Jurassic Park 3, where Grant comes into contact with Eric Kirby inside of his little base/trailer, and Eric Kirby was going to give him the original cattle prod from Dieter Stark when he was killed with compies in the Lost World. This would imply that they've traversed the same ground as they did in the Lost World Jurassic Park. Personally, I would have loved for these little nods to have been included in Jurassic Park 3, and whether or not the Spinosaurus was or was on there during that time doesn't really make a difference to me, because I would have loved to have seen these little nods. Now, the actual real reason, not the law reason, the fact that it was never included, is because it was never thought up. Obviously, Jurassic Park 3 came after the Lost World, and they needed a new antagonist. But to just simply discard the law now and say, oh yeah, now this massive dinosaur is on Isla Sorna, is simply illogical, and that's why we did this video today, to prove once and for all whether or not that Spinosaurus was on Isla Sorna during the events of 1997, and we can conclusively say that no, it was not, because it was never created. It was not created until 1998, when a group of InGen scientists landed illegally on Isla Sorna. But then that leaves another question: where is the Spinosaurus in Jurassic World Dominion and after 2022? And if you want to know all that, check out all my other videos on the channel. I'd like to thank my Patreons and YouTube members for supporting me. Thanks guys, I couldn't make these videos without your support. You really do keep the channel going, and if you want to support, check the links in the description. I'm Shadows, and I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Thanks, and bye bye.